Hello and welcome to the show. You're in for an exciting treat today. We have a very exciting guest. She's a very successful entrepreneur and she's very concerned about things going on here in the city of Dallas. And we're excited to have her with us. Gail Warrior, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Chris.
I am so glad to have you here. And we've been waiting for this opportunity to sit and talk with you for quite some time.
I'm glad we were finally able to make it happen between our schedules. We're both so busy, but we made it happen.
Absolutely. I mean, when you're doing great work, I mean, hey, you tend to have a pretty busy schedule,
That's
you know.
True. That's true.
And I want to talk about your work, but I want to first of all start off talking about who you are as an individual. Because when folks hear your name, of course, they think about your success with Warrior Group and all of your successes, but we don't really know who you are as a person. Who is Gail Warrior?
Oh gosh, where do I start? Gail Warrior is an entrepreneur. I have probably, it was easy for me to be an entrepreneur because I grew up in an entrepreneur family.
Okay.
And so I knew early on, I did everything from lemonade stands to working with my dad and his business. And so I knew in high school that when I finished college, because wasn't an option if we were going to go to college or not. And I knew when I finished college that I wanted to be an entrepreneur of some sort.
Okay.
So I would say Gail Warrior is definitely an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Secondly, I am a mentor. I love mentoring other people to help them to be successful in whatever endeavors that they may go after. I had a lot of wonderful mentors when I was in corporate America, even before I started Warrior Group, and mentors when I started the construction company.
Yeah.
And so I love, to whom much is given, much is required.
Yeah.
And so I love being able to mentor other people, particularly young people, so that they don't have some of the trials and tribulations. If we can help them avoid some of those, then it's all for the better.
Yes.
And then the last thing I would say, Gail Warrior is a mom and a soon-to-be newlywed.
Yes.
I have a wonderful 15-year-old, soon-to-be 16-year-old son.
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, I love him most days because
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sundays, every other Saturday. He's a wonderful kid, but he is a teenager.
Yes.
And as most teenagers do, they will test you.
Absolutely.
And then again, as soon to be newlywed, getting married in July, and very excited about that.
Absolutely.
So,
well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So you've got a lot going on. Let's talk about this. I mean, you mentioned growing up with your father in your home. Mm-hmm. Let's back up just a little bit and talk about what it was like growing up in the home of Gail Warrior. Here in Dallas, because you're a Dallas native, by the way.
I am a Dallas native, which, as we were talking, so are you, and you don't find too many people that, so many people are transplants.
Right.
And so growing up in our home, we had dinner at the dinner table every night. And I was just talking to someone last week how, in today's environment, that is so rare, more so than the norm. But that's one of the things that we always make sure that we do at our home is make sure that we have dinner at the dinner table.
Okay.
And so growing up, we always had dinner at the dinner table. You always, it was a lot of, laughter and fun. My dad was a big teddy bear, but at the same time, when my dad said do something, you better do it.
Because there was a price to pay if you didn't.
There was a price to pay if you didn't. But he always said, if you're going to take the time to do something, take the time to do it right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why even bother? If you're going to put the effort into something, put all of your effort into it and make sure that you're doing it right the first time. And my mom also, she worked out of the home as well as and she was the housekeeper, she was the cook, she was the everything. But she also worked at Texas Instruments for over 30 years and working in corporate HR. So you can imagine the conversation at our dinner table. My mom, who was in corporate HR at Texas Instruments for over 30 years, imagine HR in the 70s and 60s, 70s, and 80s, particularly for African Americans in Dallas during that time frame. And then my dad, who had his own insurance agency company, and then my sister, who was a student at North Texas University, and my brother and I were 10 months apart.
Okay.
And so it was never a dull
I would
moment.
imagine not.
at our dinner table. But I will also tell you that whatever my mom cooked, it didn't matter if it was Mom's Thursday meatloaf surprise, or if it was Daddy's hamburgers on Friday, or her great garden. My dad always kept his delicious garden with tomatoes and fresh okra and corn, and we always had fresh vegetables.
Man, but so you guys are growing it like that?
We did. My dad had a great garden. It was wonderful.
So do you do any gardening today?
I don't do gardening.
Okay.
I don't have the time that it takes to put into gardening.
Okay.
I still love fresh vegetables and everything that I grew up on, but whatever was put on the plate, you didn't get up from the table until it was all finished.
Gone. So that happened in your house too?
Oh yeah.
I thought it was just mine.
No. My dad, he was an Army guy before he started his own company, and so he was very loving, but also very strict at the same time.
Yeah. So. Man, so let's talk about that. You said that seed was planted in you. Of course, your dad was an entrepreneur. Were there other family members who had their own business as well?
My sister actually is a entrepreneur sort. She's a consultant. She's a tech, computer. Anything you want to know about a computer, she could probably tell you how to program it, how to wire it, and the whole 9 yards. And so my sister is an entrepreneur as well. And then my brother, he's a project manager. He's in construction and the construction industry. He didn't go the entrepreneur route, but he's still very successful in his own right.
Yeah. Well, speaking of success and successful entrepreneurs, we want to talk more about your success when we come back in just a moment.
Great.
More with Gail Warrior. Stay with us.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed all that.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Welcome back. As you've been with us, we've been having a great conversation with Gail Warrior. So glad you're still with us. Gail, as we continue this conversation, no doubt, as many folks think of you, they think of your success with the Warrior Group. I mean, this is an industry that you just really infiltrated and just took it over by storm. Let's talk about, first of all, how did the Warrior Group come to be?
Warrior Group came to be because I left corporate America. The backstory, I left corporate America. My ex-husband, which was my husband at the time, he left corporate America, and we were trying to figure out what were we going to do next to pay the bills.
So wait a minute, so both of you guys left corporate America with nothing else planned?
We did.
Okay.
We did. And we knew we wanted to start a business. I had actually started doing some personal training just because I love health and fitness. Didn't know what the next idea was going to be. We were both really great idea people, and we happened to go to dinner one night with some really good friends that owned a modular building facility in DeSoto. And we talked about the fact that no one at that time was building modular buildings for the federal government.
Man.
And from, literally, you hear about ideas being born on a napkin at a dinner table. That idea was born on a napkin at a dinner table.
Okay.
And so we went into business probably a few months after that. We actually officed for almost the first year out in their manufacturing facility because we couldn't afford our own office space at the time. And I remember when we got our first office, it was about 700 square feet. And we were able to hire someone to answer the telephones. I hired a cousin to be one of our business development people. Couldn't afford to pay him a salary, so he was straight commission. But we were in business.
Man.
And it was an exciting time to be able to penetrate an industry that had not been penetrated.
Hi, I'm Dominique Howell with Howell Consulting Group, a Dallas-based boutique consulting firm focused on helping healthcare organizations optimize their revenue cycle operations. I know that we are going through a huge game changer in healthcare. So CFOs, if you are in need of a healthcare consulting firm to help you optimize your revenue cycle, help with your cash acceleration project, or manage the impacts of ICD-10, please consider Howell Consulting Group. Our contact number is 214-760-1211.
All right, welcome back. I hope you're enjoying this conversation with Gail Warrior, because I certainly am. Gail, before we went to break, we talked about the Warrior Group, and we talked about the construction company, the work that you did there, the great work you did there. But you have since started another venture that I want to talk about. That is Warrior Elements. What exactly is Warrior Elements?
So Warrior Elements, it's a lifestyle management company.
Okay.
And so we have one arm of the company where we're selling athletic clothing for women. And there's 4 elements that we sell: water, fire, earth, and wind. And then the other piece of Warrior Elements is a consulting coaching business where we teach entrepreneurs, primarily women right now, of how to be successful in their life by being successful in being successful in their business, by being successful in life. And there's 6 elements under that program. It's the Warrior 360 program. And that talks about how to eat right, making sure you get adequate sleep, having great relationships, how to cultivate great relationships, how to have a wonderful career, making sure that you're getting great exercise, and then getting off the train and really taking time for yourself. Because we live in an environment, especially today, where we're moving so quickly and we're trying to do so many things that we forget to really cherish and take time for ourselves. And so that is the 6 elements of the Warrior 360 way, and then there's 4 elements of the clothing side. And so all together, that creates a lifestyle management company.
Man, and you're only offering the 360 way to women?
Right now,
I mean, I appreciate what you're doing for the women.
We offer it to entrepreneurs. But our target market right now is women. Because
I'm probably going to be one of the first guys to enroll when you open that up for guys, right? Because I need all of that right now.
We all need it in some shape, form, or fashion. I think we all need it.
Absolutely. I mean, wonderful stuff there. I want to back up a little bit, though. I want to talk about the water, earth, wind, and was it fire?
Fire.
Okay. Break that down for us.
So each element, water, fire, earth, and wind, really encompasses different colors. And so, we find that some women are really fiery. And they want something, the colors that are more orange and red, and they really, they want that, fiery workout. We have a lot of yoga clothes that are more water, that is more smooth and calming and cool, and then earth is more grounded. And so those are the earth tones, or the green and brown. And so the elements correspond to the different colors of each of the pieces in the collection.
And then you may just have to get one of each, because it depends on how you feel that morning when you go to work out.
Your mood in that day, exactly. Some days,
maybe you're not as fiery on this day, so you're going to go with an earth tone, I guess.
Exactly. So today I did, my fiance and I are training for a marathon. And it was a pretty fiery day. I felt kind of like water when it was over. But it was a pretty fiery morning. So it may
start out fiery and end up water.
Exactly. Just depends on your mood for the day. One of the great things about our collection, too, is that some of our pieces transition very nicely from the workplace into the gym. And so, when we're trying to create, an environment where you're trying to plan everything ahead of time, one of the best things that I think we did was to create pieces, like a couple of different tops and even a yoga pant that you could wear, put on a different shirt and a blazer with it. Great for the office, but then you could hit your yoga class on your way home.
Man.
So,
you really thought that whole thing out, huh?
We did.
Yeah.
We did.
Oh, because this is really just an extension of your lifestyle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so one of the reasons why I started it, so many people have asked me, how was I able to be so successful with Warrior Group? Being, a busy mom, running a business that we had multiple offices, still finding time to, work out every day and finding time to cook. I love to cook at home.
Yes.
My son always says, well, Mom, why do we have to be, the organic, vegetable family? And so we don't eat out a lot unless it's on the weekend. But most of our food, I'd say 90% of our food is eaten at home, and it's all fresh, organic food. There's nothing in the can. There's nothing that's frozen. He had it's really funny. He had a project at school one day. I forgot what class it was, but they had to bring a label from a can or from a jar. And he came home and said, Mom, what am I going to take? We don't have any
canned goods at all in the house.
No canned goods in the cupboard. I mean, sometimes I'll have a couple of cans of diced tomatoes if I'm making something with a tomato sauce and I don't feel like chopping up a bunch of tomatoes.
Yes.
But outside of that, you won't find any canned goods in
I mean, you see, I'm sitting over here in total amazement now because you are a Dallasite. You grew up here in Dallas.
I did.
And to find someone who is totally organic, who grew up in Dallas, and I'm just going to say it like this because I have no other way to say it, and look like me.
Right.
I mean, how does that happen? Because typically you hear that people, California, things of that nature, they do that.
Right.
But down south, I mean, when we sit down to eat, we eat.
I grew up Fridays. It was if it wasn't Daddy Burgers, it was Mom's fish fry, and she did great buttermilk fried chicken.
Okay,
and
well,
pork chops, and so
growing up, you ate the same way we did.
Mashed potatoes with the whole milk and. So definitely grew up that way.
When did you make the switch?
I started transitioning probably, it's been over 25 years ago.
Man.
And the catalyst that made me even start thinking about making the switch was I lost my dad. He was only 52 years old.
Oh, man. Okay.
And even though my dad, we ate at home, he had the garden.
Yes.
But my dad worked consistently. He never took time off the train for himself. If he wasn't working in the business, he was very active in his church. He served on boards. He was doing stuff with us at home. Yeah. And he was always, the responsibility of taking care of the family was all put onto his shoulders. Even though my mom worked outside of the home, my dad was like, this is my responsibility.
Yeah.
And so I realized, I was fresh out of undergrad, and I thought, I don't want my life to be that way. I've got to change my life and do it differently. And that plus the fact I started working in corporate America and sitting at a desk all day. Yeah. I didn't put on the freshman 20. I put on, the freshman 20 in corporate America, 20 sitting at a desk all day.
Okay.
And I thought, oh my, if I don't do something about this now, this will continue.
Man.
And so I just gradually, Popeye's chicken was my favorite thing to eat. Always ate fast food. And I just gradually started learning more about food and how it affects the body. Not only how you feel, but how you think and how you sleep. And all of that collectively plays a role in my business and how successful that I can be depending on what I fuel my body with.
And you just really said something there. You said, wait a minute, I see that what I put inside of me is going to affect how I think, and it's going to affect just how successful I'm going to be in my business.
Exactly.
I've never heard anyone put it that way. We talk about how we look, I don't like looking this way and all that type of stuff, but no, you think about this is affecting my mind.
Exactly. And it does.
Yeah.
It truly does.
So you became a student of our foods and how it affects your body.
Yep.
Yeah. And for 25 years now, you've been successful at getting this done.
Exactly.
Because, you were in construction. You certainly don't look like a construction worker or anybody close to a construction site to me.
Well, if I'm on a site, I've got on my hard hat and my steel-toe boots and my
but
hair
whatever.
in a ponytail. But
they don't even have a vest. I know the guys have to wear those vests, the vest with the bright colors and things.
Vest,
yeah, the safety vest. They probably didn't even have a vest to even fit you.
I had a small, but I didn't have. A lot of construction workers are not very healthy. You're right.
Right.
But that's something that I knew in order for me to be successful.
Yeah.
I had to be successful first at home.
Yes.
In order to be successful outside of the home.
Man, well, certainly we applaud you on your success. I mean, you're doing a great job with it, and really commend you for not only just making this your lifestyle, as you have stated, you are now helping others to truly understand this, and if they're going to have success in their business and in their life,
right,
to adopt some of these same principles.
That's my purpose.
Man. Okay, so how can folks get in contact with you to be a part of 360 Way?
To be a part of 360 Way, they can go to my website, which is gailwarrior.com.
Okay.
If they want to look at more of the clothing that we have to offer, they should go to warrior-elements.com.
Okay.
So we've got 2 different websites.
Man. So it's not, I really like that though, because there are so many companies that may put out something such as a clothing line, and that's pretty much it. You know, you get the clothing line, that's it. But you're actually putting a whole lifestyle around this thing.
Because so many people, they'll work out, but they don't think about the fact that, okay, they work out to lose weight, but the question is, why did you gain the weight to begin with?
Yeah.
And so, yes, you can hit the gym, you can hit the treadmill, you can pump some iron, but if you don't get to the root cause of why you're eating some of the things that you're eating, and change your mindset, then once you stop, working out at the gym, then if you haven't changed your habits, any weight that you lost, it comes right back on you.
All right, let's change topics, Jade. I'm starting to feel a little guilty over here. Because you are all over me right now.
We'll talk after.
No, but everything you said is absolutely true. I just need to do a better job. Because I'm in the gym, it's just a matter of what I'm putting in.
Well, but you know what? You also have to realize that it's a journey. It's not a destination.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 25 years, and it's not like, like I said, I used to eat Popeye's chicken.
Yeah.
So it's not like I said, today is Monday. Tuesday, I'm never going to eat Popeyes again.
Yeah.
I love sugar.
Uh-huh.
If you put, a slice of key lime pie in front of me with some creme brulee, it's on.
It's on.
So, we all have our vices.
Yes.
The key is not to let your vices control you, that you have to control your vices.
I like that. I like that. And for the record, I did have Popeye's chicken on Saturday. So Popeye's, we're not throwing off at you. I actually did have it. That's a true story. All right. You may have answered this question, but the question is, I wanted to ask you the top 3 things that you have not done. Many times we ask people, what are some of the things you've done to lead to your success? I want to know, what are the top 3 things you did not do that help you to achieve the level of success that you have?
Oh gosh, top 3 things I did not do. I would say the first thing that I did not do, I never gave up.
Yeah.
I never gave up.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think when you give up, that's when you can say that you failed.
Man.
But I don't believe in giving up.
Yeah.
The second thing is I never sacrifice I have a certain level of ideals and integrity.
Yes.
And I never compromise my ideals and integrity. You can imagine being in the construction arena for so many years. And we started doing a lot of projects here in the city and in other cities as well. And there's so many things that go on in the construction industry and just in business in general, where we could have been even more successful had we done certain things. And I just don't believe in doing that, because at the end of the day, I want to be able to sleep at night with a clear conscience. And then the third thing I would say is to always keep myself open to new ideas and opportunities. When I went into construction, like I said, I always knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. If you had told me when I finished undergrad that I was going to start a construction company, I'd say you've lost your mind. There's no way. But because I'm always open to new ideas and opportunities, when that opportunity presented itself to me, I said, okay, God, I'm going to, have faith in you, and this is the direction that I'm going to go in. And here I am today.
Man, absolutely wonderful there. What do you enjoy most about what you do?
What I enjoy most about what I do right now is helping people to change their lives and to be more successful, not necessarily in their business, because to me that's a byproduct, but if they can just be more real and successful in who they are as an individual and know that we all have this inner warrior, I think, that's burning inside of each one of us. And if I can help people find that and turn that up a notch, then that's what I love doing.
Man, as a Dallas native and someone who's really ingrained in the community here, what opportunities do you see available to African American women specifically here in the Dallas-Fort Worth market?
I think there's a lot of opportunities today, more so than there was when, 20 years ago when I first started out in being an entrepreneur. There was a recent study that talked about, I think there was about 13,000 leaders that were surveyed, and of about 2,000 different organizations. And of that, only 28% of the leadership were female. Now, when you look at the top 500 grossing companies, only 5% of those women were CEOs. And that's all women, whether you're black, white, Asian, or what have you. Only 5% of the top 500 grossing companies were female. So when you think about the opportunities that are out there for us as women or African American women, we've only just scratched the surface. I've always said, and no offense, but I believe that, because women are so used to multitasking, we can do so much. You give a woman $100 and tell her she's got to feed a family of 4. She knows how to do that. And so if you take that same skill set and that mindset and you put it into an organization, we know how to do more with less, because that's just what we know how to do. And so I think, given the opportunity, then we can be very, very successful. I think there's a lot of women that have paved the way for African American women even before me, and that's what I try to do for people coming after me, is to pave the way for other African American women to be just as successful as I've been.
Yeah, good stuff. And no offense taken at all, because you're absolutely right. I've seen my mom do it, $100 and 6 kids. She made it work. So no offense taken at all. How would you like to be remembered? When folks think of Gail Warrior, what would you like for them to think of?
I would want people to think of me as someone that was fun-loving, caring, compassionate, and then just someone who always had a ton of energy, and someone who just always cared about others, and always did her best.
Well, you certainly did your best here today, and I appreciate you for coming.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed this interview. Please be sure to send us an email. We'll make sure that Gail get that information as well. It's been a great conversation, and I hope, again, you've enjoyed it. And thanks again for watching the show. We'll see you next time.